Here we go.
Hi guys, so starting a little bit late, we had a few technical issues as always happens when you need it to work. I've got Kate Lewis here, one of our healthy lifestyle advisors in the team, and we're just going to launch these Facebook chats today, and we're going to have them every fortnight. So please make sure you follow our page and send in comments and questions and topics that you want talked about. So just starting off today, we thought we'll cover something that's pretty common to come up around this time of year. And that is detoxing. So, Kate, have you got any thoughts about detoxing and what some of the wild claims are?
I mean, at the moment, like, they're often marketed as, like, quick fixes. And, like, this time of the year is definitely their prime, right after Christmas, when people might have, like, overindulged or looking for that quick fix. And so they come with a range of things and are marketed as lots of different quick fixes or health benefits to come with them, but often, unfortunately, they're too good to be true.
Yeah, and as you say, there's a range of different things that are marketed really well, and some of them might be pills or supplements. There's more and more things around some, more natural methods, certain herbal teas and stuff. But we actually have 5 amazing organs in our body which already do detoxing for us, and those are the skin. So the skin is something that is a huge player in the detoxing field to make sure that our body is protected from things in the environment. Our liver, obviously, we know that processes alcohol and other things. Our kidneys, so that's constantly purifying our blood to take out all the impurities, so that's detoxing in a form. And we also have our intestines and our lungs, which are all the time are detoxing things from our body that don't need to be there and that aren't helpful. So of course all these organs can be impacted by both disease and lifestyle factors. So Kate, what do you think might be some of the lifestyle factors that can make our detox organs unhappy or make them harder to work?
So, I mean, you briefly mentioned, like, alcohol. I know that alcohol's a big one and it puts a lot of stresses on our body, but another common one is just, like, poor diet or over-processed food, lack of vegetables or fruit, and then, just not keeping our body moving and all the sugars and yuck stuff that's in food these days.
Yeah, that's right. And for those of you that are a bit more visual learners, I don't know if the words will come out the right way around, but we've got a little handy picture here of the things that Kate was talking about. So alcohol, drugs, including medication, but obviously we don't want you to stop taking medication that your doctors have prescribed, but that does have an impact on our body and its ability to detox. Smoking, and as Kate said, highly processed food, particularly stuff that's got heaps of added fat, so deep fried foods, and lots of sugar really impacts on our body's ability to do the detoxing work really well. So what we're saying is we're not encouraging going out for those quick fix detox supplements and teas and things, because your body already does detoxing really, really well. Otherwise, we'd be in big trouble with our health. But there are some things that we can do to support those organs, the skin, kidneys, lungs, liver and intestines, to do their work better. So we're going to just chat through 4 of the big ones. And actually, they're the 4 things that we just talk about all the time in Green Prescription in our Live Your Best Life programs, about things that are pretty simple, but they make huge changes and benefit our health long term. So the things that we need to be keeping in mind when we're thinking about our general health, but also detoxing, making sure we've got plenty of water on board, particularly this time of the year. Just making sure that it's helping our blood to flow smoothly, it's not putting our heart under undue stress, but also to keep having those toxins being flushed out of our body, we need heaps of water. What else, Kate?
Water? I'm a big advocate for exercise. So what exercise looks like to you as an individual is going to be very different to what it looks like to your auntie or your parents or something like that. So, like, for me, for instance, I definitely prefer higher intensity exercise, whereas like my parents would much rather be doing things like gardening or going on a walk, and just making sure that we are moving our body, and that's going to help it to keep the normal flow going a bit and get rid of those toxins that you may have incurred.
That's right. So some of the times our body stores toxins in fat stores, and so keeping on top of regular exercise as well as having heaps of water helps to break that down and to flush those toxins out of our body. And as you probably know, in hot weather, or if you're exercising intensely enough that you're sweating, that clears out your skin because it's clearing out the pores, and with that it takes some of the toxins that might be present in your body as well. So another thing that we often talk about in our Live Your Best Life seminars and workshops is having good quality sleep, because anything that affects our sleep and causes strain on our body in general is obviously going to also affect the organs that do all the detoxing for us, because those organs are also impacted by the hormones that are in our body. And if we're having really poor sleep and not getting that restoring, refreshing sleep that our body needs to repair itself, it's obviously going to impact on how well our organs do their job. So that, and obviously plenty of veggies and fruit is our big old mantra here. So nothing, we're not interested in the fancy stuff, we're not interested in the the meal replacement stuff, but just really good quality veggies and fruit as often as you can throughout the day really helps your body with all its processes, but particularly detoxing. Any other thoughts on that, Kate?
One thing that I want to note that often comes up in quite a few of the consultations that we do is we understand that some fruit and vegetables can be really expensive, and that's why either we encourage people to eat seasonally, and so what that looks like for your family or whānau might be different to what it looks like for someone else's, but also the nutrients in frozen vegetables are still there. So if you're struggling to either find the time to prep vegetables, a mixed bag of frozen veg, just pop it in the microwave to cook it is going to bring you all those nutritional benefits as well.
Yeah, absolutely. It doesn't need to be, the flashiest piece of stuff. It's just whatever you can afford, as long as you're getting it into your body and into your family is what we're all about. Cool. So the other topic we wanted to talk about today was another key one for this time of the year. It's summer. We're just starting to get the really hot weather, which usually happens when kids have gone back to school. So talking about hydration, so probably a lot of people understand the rule around having 8 glasses a day. So we just thought we'll have a chat about that, of whether it's true, whether it's helpful, and some ideas around what to do if you're finding making sure you're getting enough hydration is a bit of an issue. So why hydration is really important is what we were just talking about before, of making everything flow smoothly. So if you don't have enough water in your body, that you haven't drunk enough or taken enough from your food, your body doesn't want your blood to get thick, and so it starts drawing water from everything else, which can make going to the toilet difficult. It means you can sweat less, get headaches, lose your concentration, feel tired and sluggish, and your body's just not working the way it's supposed to work very well. And yeah, there are times that we can get a bit caught up in how much are we supposed to be drinking. So yeah, the 8 glasses a day came about as a bit of a guideline, but what we want to stress is you still need to bear in mind that every person's need is very individual, like the individual. So 8 glasses is a good guideline. They say for women it's around 2 litres a day, and for men about 3 litres a day. But all of that is impacted by what's happening in your day. So what are some things that might mean that you need more?
If you're doing real strenuous exercise and you're sweating a lot, you've got to account for that. So you're losing a lot of your body's hydration or your body water through your sweat. So you're going to replace that by having either water throughout your workout or after your workout. Other things like if you are taking medications, so you should also be told by either your doctor or your pharmacist if that medication needs to be taken with a large glass of water, but also keeping in mind that your body's going to try and filter that. And so just keeping in mind, if you are taking any medication, to ensure that your hydration is topped up throughout the day. Also, I was going to go on to that one, but did you want to say that?
With the, so 8 glasses a day is a good guideline, but do you think it applies to everyone at the same level?
So I think it's, as you said, definitely very individualised. So for instance, my nephew is not going to have the same 8 glasses that I have. It's relative to his size. So his 8 glasses may look like a couple of drink bottles a day, whereas my 8 glasses may be more or less depending on the weather and my environment and things like that. So if you've got children or your partner's really tall and carries quite a lot of muscle mass, they're going to need a lot more water than you would as someone who's a smaller of a stature. Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, so generally the bigger the person is, the more water they need, because they're just carrying more water in their body that needs to be replaced, is generally what's happening there. So one of the other things that we're talking about as well, so we've talked about exercise, that being hot or humid weather. So, when in weather, particularly in Auckland, we can get really humid weather that feels very damp, but we actually sweat more because our body's still trying to cool itself down, and it's not getting that sweat condensing and returning to the body. It's just, you're just pouring out sweat like in a tropical country. And so during hot and humid weather, you really need to keep on top of your drinking water. Some other things that can contribute to being less hydrated, so not necessarily fully dehydrated, but you're just not having enough to help your body work at its best, can be high sugary drinks, believe it or not. So a lot of people might think, gosh, I'm really thirsty, I'm going to have this huge glass or even bottle of sweet fizzy drink. But that actually has the opposite effect, because that amount of sugar, your body does not want to have it in it. So it starts to pull water from everywhere else in the body to try and flush that sugar out as fast as possible. And so highly sugary drinks, really strong caffeine drinks, so really strong coffees or energy drinks, and alcohol all have a dehydrating effect because it's trying to flush it out of your body as quickly as possible. So just bear that in mind, that those are not go-tos for keeping on top of your fluids. And the other thing is around salty foods. So we all know if we have a really salty packet of potato chips, that we want to follow that up with a drink. And that's because, again, our body doesn't want to have too much salt in it, and so it tries to dilute it by getting as much water as it can.
What would you recommend for people who don't like the taste of water, or are already in that routine of drinking these other foods that may be high in sugar or high in salt? What's something that you would recommend as either a stepping stone or for people who don't like water, a solution? Yeah,
and some people just absolutely don't like the taste of water, and that's fine. Some people it's around the temperature. Like my kids prefer to have ice cold water from the fridge, which is a bit of a luxury, really, considering we grew up with just what came out of the tap. But if that encourages people to drink more water, that they have it at a different temperature, that's fine. Other people prefer to have it more body temperature, and they find that they can swallow that more easily and absorb it better. So just experiment with temperature. You can try putting things in like cut up fruit just to give a bit of a flavour, but not
like or
added
lemon water or something
lemon,
like that.
mint, even basil. You can do frozen berries, that sort of thing. If you're someone that is used to drinking, juice is your go-to for drinking, just try and start to add water to that. Maybe start with 50-50, 50% juice, 50% water, and then just try and wean yourself off that sugary juice over time. And teas and coffees actually do contribute to your water count, as do veggies and fruit, because they have a lot of water in them as well. So it's not just about drinking water. Obviously different milks, whether that's dairy milk or seed or nut milks, they also contribute, because they're it's still mostly water, even with other stuff in it. So Kate, what if we're not necessarily going with the 8 glass a day as a rule? How do people know if they are needing to have more water or they're becoming dehydrated? What are some cues?
Well, some cues, like for me, a major cue for me is if I'm getting a headache or if I'm thirsty. So if I'm thirsty, I know that I'll need a glass of water. Often, thirst is confused as hunger. So if you have had your normal meals of the day and you are still really hungry, have a glass of water, wait 10 minutes, and then see how you're feeling after that.
Mm-hmm.
And then the golden one, your urine. So when you go to the toilet, have a look. What does it look like?
Yeah. So, as Kate's saying, there's actually a special scale that gives different colours of urine, and what you're aiming for to say that your body is actually getting enough water and using it properly is that you're looking at having your pee as pale straw coloured yellow, or even clear, means that your body's getting plenty of water. If it's a bit darker, it just means you need to have a bit of a drink. So have a drink, and in a couple of hours, if you use the bathroom again, just have another look. Obviously, if there's things like it's got brown colouring or blood staining in it, that's something you definitely absolutely need to check with your doctor ASAP, because it could be to do with something happening in your bladder or your kidneys. And first thing in the morning, everyone has darker coloured pee or urine because you haven't been drinking overnight and it's concentrated. So I try and make it a mission that I start the day with a huge glass of water, because otherwise my go-to is a big cup of coffee, and then I just start the day beginning dehydrated and then just carry that on. It's hard to make that up again. So if you try and start the day with a big glass of water as your first thing once you get up, it's a really good way to get your body going. And of course, if you also have different medications or multivitamin supplements, you might notice that you have a different colour pee or urine that's a little bit more brighter yellow, a bit like an energy drink kind of colour. And that's just to do with some of the vitamins, the B vitamins, that if your body has got enough in it, it just flushes them out, and that's what turns the pee that colour. So just making sure that, as Kate said, thirst is the first cue. And there was, for a period of time, there was this big thing around if you're feeling thirsty, you're already dehydrated. But it's not necessarily true, because our body is very much about protecting itself. And so it will be, trying to make sure that it's sending out all the signals that something's not quite right as often as possible. So thirst and the colour of your pee are your best indicators, the best signs about whether or not you're getting enough water to drink.
And I mean, for me, growing up, my mother's a nurse, so growing up I had a pee chart on the back of the toilet door. So if that's something a bit excessive that you don't want to do, just keep in mind like how light, like you're aiming for that light yellow colour. And as Cherise was saying, just getting it into your everyday routine. How many glasses of water you drink will be up to you, but like it's good to get a routine of having one when you get up, and then one with each meal, and then one before bed. And before you know it, that's at least 5 glasses of water. And then throughout the day, if you are getting thirsty, you can just top it up.
And some people like to use different cues to give themselves a reminder. It might be an alarm on your phone that every hour or so you have a glass of water at the same time that you move away from your desk and move around. Or it might be some people fill up a really big bottle over the day and they just mark off when they've drunk it, with the aim of completing the whole 2 litre bottle over the course of the day. So just whatever works for you, and it just is a matter of setting up routines and some steps. And there's days that we all struggle to get enough water in. There's certainly days that I get busy and I've forgotten to drink regularly, and I don't know until, as Kate said before, I've got a raging headache and I go, I bet I haven't had enough water. You
may also find, if you're someone that isn't currently drinking a lot of water or having a lot of fluids, and then you go to having 6 to 8 glasses a day and you're going to the bathroom a lot, that's normal. It'll eventually even out and you'll go back to going to the bathroom a normal amount again. It's just your body adjusting to its new lifestyle change. So if that happens, it only takes 2 or 3 days or maybe 4 days for your body to readjust with its new water levels, and it will definitely thank you for it longer term. So just go through it, roll with it over those couple of days while your body gets used to having more water on board, and then it will even itself out. So I think that's all we've got to share. Please send through comments and questions that you've got to the messenger or to our Facebook page. Or in the comments.
In the comments, And as I said, we're having these Facebook chats every fortnight, and they are available online later if you're not able to make it. But please also check our events tab. We've got lots of workshops happening this year, so check out what's happening in your area soon. And we've also got a really awesome subscription to the Healthy Food Guide for $19 for a full year's subscription. So you can purchase that on our Facebook page as well. It'll send you through to the link for our shop. And yeah, look forward to chatting with you again soon.
Well, first nutrition tip done.